from East Hills Library, and this is First Chapter Friday. For this video, I am going to be reading the first chapter from The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. Everything is burning. So many flames it looks as if we set the sky on fire. The sun is long since vanished, hidden behind a haze of smoke and ash, but its magic still rushes through me. The fire has been raging for 6 days. It started with the smallest spark and became all-consuming in the span of a breath, flames spreading chaotic and fast, as if they were being chased. Starting the fire was easy, but putting it out is something else entirely. It's our last wildfire training of the season, and it's more intense than all the other training sessions combined. The fire is larger, the flames are higher, and the earth is drier. But wildfires are a threat we now have to deal with, so we must learn. There are more than 100 witches from all over the world here on campus to take this training. The other witches help. The springs provide fuel, growing acres and acres of pines to sustain the fire. The winters pull moisture from the trees, and the autumns stand along the perimeter of the training field, ensuring the fire doesn't spread beyond it. We have to learn, but that doesn't mean we're going to burn down our entire campus in the process. The rest is up to the summers, and we have one job: make it rain. It's not easy. The winters pulled so much water from the ground that it feels more like sawdust than dirt. My eyes sting, and a layer of ash clings to the sweat on my face. My head is tipped back, hands outstretched, energy flowing through my veins. Summer magic is a constant rush, strong and powerful, and I push it toward the forest, where water soaks the earth and a lazy stream moves through the trees. The power of the witches around me follows, and I send it deeper into the woods. It weaves around trees and skims the forest floor until it finds a particularly wet stretch of earth. Goosebumps rise along my skin as the heat of my magic collides with the cold moisture. There's enough water here to coax from the ground and into the clouds, enough to vanquish the fire and clear the air of smoke. This is the first time I've been involved in a group training session since I was on the same field last year, practicing with my best friend. Since the magic inside me rushed toward her in a flash of light, as bright as the fire in front of me. Since she screamed so loudly, the sound still echoes in my ear. I try to push the memory away, but my whole body trembles with it. "Keep your focus, Clara," Mr. Hart's voice is steady and sure, coming from behind me. "You can do this." I take a deep breath and refocus. My eyes are closed, but it isn't enough to erase the red and orange of the fire, a dull glow I'll continue to see long after the flames are out. "Now," Mr. Hart says. The rest of the summers release their magic to me, weaving it into my own. I tense under the weight of it. Our combined power is far stronger than individual streams flitting around the forest, the way a tapestry is stronger than the individual threads within it. But it's so heavy. Most witches could never support the weight of it. Only a witch tied to all 4 seasons can control that much magic. Evers are rare, though, and our teacher didn't have one in their generation. I'm the first in over 100 years, so this is a learning process for all of us. But it doesn't feel right, holding this magic of so many witches. It never does. "Deep breaths, Clara," Mr. Hart says. "You've got this." My hands shake. It's so hot, heat from the fire mixing with the heat from the sun. The magic around me hangs heavy on my own, and I focus all my energy on pulling moisture from the ground. Finally, a small cloud forms above the trees. "That's it. Nice and easy," Mr. Hart says. The cloud gets bigger, darker. Magic swells inside me, ready to be released, and the sheer power of it makes me dizzy. It's a terrible feeling, like I'm on the brink of losing control. I've lost control twice before. The terror that haunts my dreams is enough to ensure it will never happen again. Sweat beads on my skin, and I have to work hard for each shallow breath, as if I'm breathing atop Mount Everest instead of in a field in Pennsylvania. I temper the flow and give myself 3 good breaths, just 3. Then I start again. Ash falls from the sky instead of rain, flames leaping toward the heavens as if they're taunting me. I find my thread of magic hovering above the forest floor. I let enough energy flow from my fingertips to keep it going, but no more than that. "Rain," I whisper. Water rises from the ground and cools. Tiny droplets form, and all I have to do is combine them until they're too heavy to stay in the air. That's it. I can do this. I pull the cloud away from the trees, closer and closer to the flames, until it hovers above the heart of the fire. Power moves all around me like a cyclone, and I send it spiraling into the air, toward the droplets that are so close to being rain. More magic surges inside me, desperate to get out, stealing my breath. There's a deep well of it, but I'm terrified of letting go, terrified of what could happen if I do. I send out a small stream of magic that does nothing to ease the pressure building inside me, and I force the rest back down. It isn't enough. The rain cloud flickers, threatening to undo all the progress I've made. It needs more energy. "Stop fighting it," Mr. Hart says behind me. "Just let it happen. You're in control." But he's wrong. Letting go would be like breaking a dam and hoping that the water knows where to go. I know better than that. I know the devastation my power can cause. There are so many sets of eyes on me, on the rain cloud churning above the fire. I split my focus between controlling the flow of my own magic and commanding everyone else's, but it doesn't feel right. I can't do it anymore. I won't. The thread of magic collapses, energy thrashing every which way like a loose fire hose. A collective groan moves through the witches around me. My arms fall to my sides and my legs buckle beneath me, the pressure no longer holding me up. I sink to the ground and heavy exhaustion replaces everything else. I could sleep right here, on the sawdust earth, surrounded by witches and fire. I close my eyes as Mr. Hart's steady voice begins directing the other witches. Okay, everyone, in the northeast corner, you're with Emily. Northwest, Josh. Southeast, Lee. And southwest, Grace. Let's get this fire out. Mr. Hart keeps his tone even, but after working with him for over a year, I know he's disappointed.